If you haven't noticed, my room is getting overcrowded with notes and my supplies. So I'm forcing myself to spend a day and reorganize my entire living space.
It's time to figure out where the heck I'm going to do those notes.
The kicker is that I have a lot of living space at my disposal. I have all of Vano to use. Why should I limit myself to just one little box? Step 1, the notes. I want to find a nice large wall with good light to display my notes.
I guess I could use this blank wall. It's just covering up one of the old houses. Oh, it looks back here, that's nice.
This gives me a chance to go over some of the notes I found. I've collected a lot of papers and have been holding off going over them for a long time. I wanted to be sure that I had complete sets before I started working through the lore. I have a few complete sets now, but it's not a lot to work with. One of the sets I do have completed is from someone named Ridiculous.
I had a horrifying thought. What if the radius expanded to include Vano? What if everything is an echo, like the train, the crashed helicopter, the shadows, and the children playing in the village? What if there is no one left outside the radius and I'm the only one left alive?
The fears of this individual make an interesting theory. It would make sense if he was the last one alive, but he's not. I'm here, and I did not write this note. By using logic, I can deduce that I am a different person than Ridiculous. Therefore, there are others out there. Maybe.
I tried giving funny names to various dangers. It helped diminish my overall stress. I called the spawns tumbleweeds and the fragments squelchers because they make a sound of someone walking with a full boot of water. The mimics are hide-and-seekers. I have no names for the other ones yet.
This place will drive you up the wall one way or another. It's nice to see different ways of how people can cope with fear of the radius. A single note now, and this one has a date on it. 23/12/2001. Schaubbit. I am definitely not saying that correctly.
What a rude awakening. I thought the storm was getting bad, so I just went to sleep, and when I woke up, I was outside. I have no clue how I got there, so unless I've started sleepwalking, something moved me halfway across the route. Only mildly concerning. I think I'll venture further into the radius tomorrow.
Storms. I've never noticed storms in the radius. I can recognize that this person went through a tide, that part's obvious. But storms? I'm not sure what to make of that. But this note is from December 23rd, 2001. Maybe the radius was different then. Makes me wonder what year it is now. My next and last complete group is from someone named Daichi.
I'm starting to get my bearings around the two general places I end up walking into. One is on the road to the supply depot, and the other one is around a small river that goes up through... I think it's a pathway according to the map. It goes to this place light, and 4 black figures just standing there. From what I recall, there's a little girl, a woman, a man, and an old lady. Maybe the grandmother. I got to examine them a bit. When I tried to touch the man's shoulder, it just floated in the air. Weird stuff. Well, anyways, I decided to head down the road since I was now on that way after all. I came up to this construction site with a swamp next to it, and quickly left because I discovered there were a ton of crawly things and more ghosts. Some of them were darker around there, and I was low on ammunition. After I dashed away, I had no idea where to go, and ended up stuck in an anomaly field. My detector started picking up something. It turned out to be my first artifact. A blank is what I think they call it, judging by the recording. Sold it for some quick cash, then restocked my ammunition, with finally being able to afford a box of 9x18 and a Makarov mag. Certainly an adventure today.
These notes sound like a run made by another explorer, a familiar story of getting lost in the wilds of the radius. However, there is something odd about this log. The explorer mentions a swamp with a construction site next to it. That sounds like Bolotki Village, but I've never seen a group of statues like that there. It could be a location I haven't been to yet, but I'm not sure. Maybe this location was reachable in the past, but is now swallowed up by the fog. Also, the ghosts they mention are worth pointing out. They could be referring to the phantom entities that we can find wandering about. The darker ones would be fragments. But I find it odd that the explorer sounds confused at the sight of a fragment, even though they are a very common occurrence. This makes me wonder if some of the entities are older than the others. But there's no way of knowing that for now, it's just a speculation on my part. Still, it might be worth looking into. I also have letters from D, but I'm missing a lot of those notes. I may need to make a special trip just to find them later. Now that the notes are on my wall, and my gear is finding a home on the shelves behind my box, I feel like I have room again. It really made the room bigger and works much better with the gear. The back shelves are now my main armory for weapons and magazines, but the ammo I'll keep in the main room. I'll also keep some of my food in the room, but access will go to the pantry shelf as well as cleaning supplies and other gear I've collected. Now that I have organized myself a bit and taken a break to rest myself, I'm ready to take on whatever the radius has for me. Maybe I'll go look for the rest of D's notes in the factory region. It would give me a chance to test out my Mosin. A huge thank you to Synth for lending me his voice and reading this video's notes. If you haven't seen his stuff already, there's a link below to his YouTube channel and his Twitch where he plays Into the Radius on a frequent basis. Please go show them the love they deserve and tell them I say hi.